Going fast can feel exciting. When you're watching a high-speed chase in a movie or doing your own racing in a video game, it can really get your adrenaline pumping. But speeding in real life is dangerous. It can lead to car crashes, serious injuries, and even death. When you earn your driver license, one of the most important things to remember is to obey the speed limit.
Our son Chaz started racing at 4.5 years old. He had been behind some type of motorized vehicle for at least 12 years before he received his license. In the racing world, he had the adrenaline of speed. He was very good at it. On the racetrack, he had great reflexes, was very fast, won many accolades in races. With that, we tried to share with our son Chaz that speed is to stay on the racetrack, not on the roads. There's too many unknowns. Even with his experience in fast driving and reflexes, Chaz was ironically killed in a car accident because of speed.
If you're speeding, it increases the risk of getting in a crash. That's because you need to react faster as the car is covering a longer distance in a shorter time. For this same reason, it takes longer for a car to come to a stop if you're speeding. Plus, if you're speeding and crash into something, the damage is going to be more severe. Think of the physics. The faster you're going, the more energy the vehicle will have when it hits something. For example, if you crash while traveling at 30 miles per hour, it has as much force as getting rammed by a 3.5-ton wrecking ball. It's important to remember that speeding is the leading cause of death on our roads. For every 10 miles you go above the speed limit over 50 miles per hour, the risk of death is doubled.
Our son Chaz was traveling west on 5400 South, coming home from meeting a friend at the bowling alley to meet another friend. Was speeding, coming around a corner. As far as what we know, he hit a curb, which directed him into oncoming traffic, where he hit a car. The car going eastbound hit him directly in the passenger side of his car, but he was going at a high rate of speed. The section of road that he got in the accident, the speed limit's 35, and speaking with the officer, they believe he was traveling about 75 to 80 miles per hour. Being a kid, he was tall. He liked to lay the seat back some. The seatbelt was probably not directly on the shoulder, more on the side, and with the impact, he hit his head on the roof of the car, which caused a brain injury.
If you're speeding because you're in a hurry, you typically only save a couple minutes, if that, depending on how far you're going. And if you're speeding through a yellow light, you're not really saving time, but you are putting yourself and others in danger. It's just not worth it to speed. It's better to leave a little early or even show up a little late than to get a ticket, cause a crash, or worse. Also, speeding can lead to other unsafe driving habits. Studies show that drivers who speed often are more likely to tailgate, make unsafe lane changes, run red lights, and exhibit other risky driving behaviors.
Chaz was about racing 12 years before getting his license. Yeah, he'd run Rookie of the Year in a couple different classes, so that's awarded to the person, the first year racing, beating all other rookies, as well as the track championship for points, so that they take the total points of all your races ran throughout that season. Highest point winner wins the track championship.
The streets are nowhere near a racetrack. When he's on the racetrack, Chaz is in his harness, his neck device, his helmet, he has a roll cage, plus he has, safety crew that are around the track. So if anything were to happen, people are there to help him. When out on the streets, you don't have that. So we try to instill that in him, and speeding as well. If you get in a wreck, your insurance goes up, your car's damaged, you gotta fix it if you're responsible. Worst case scenario, you could kill somebody.
Speed limits there are for the safety. I mean, obviously the lower the speed limit, the more the dangerous the road or the part they're on. I get speed has, being a race car driver myself or participating in that, just the adrenaline rush of going fast. But going fast also reduces your reaction time. It creates risks that are uncontrollable. There may be things that you hit a patch of wet asphalt and lose control. There's just the speed adds to the chances that something bad can happen. It's not a simple fender bender if you do get an accident.
Speeding is more than just breaking the law. If you speed, you're more likely to lose control of your car. It reduces the effectiveness of your seatbelt to keep you safe, and it causes more severe injuries if you're in a crash. Speeding can also put a real dent in your wallet if you get a ticket. Depending on how fast you're going, a speeding ticket could cost you several $100s or more. And if you get multiple speeding tickets, you could lose your license entirely. When you think about it, speeding is even bad for the environment. The faster you go, the more fuel your car uses, adding more harmful emissions into our air. There's just no good reason to speed.
Slow down. It's not worth your life. That few minutes of adrenaline or rush that you get from speeding, obviously you can't see those 2 seconds ahead of you what's going to happen. It's not worth critically injuring yourself, someone else, or killing yourself. I'd say to anyone, I mean, any parent does not want to see your child in jail, the hospital, the morgue, because of a bad decision behind the wheel.
My advice to probably every teenager and even adult would just use caution, be careful, respect others around you. And I understand the need for speed is fun, it's exhilarating, the adrenaline rush you get, but it's not worth it. I've learned a great deal because of my son. So just slow down and be careful and just don't put your family through this because it is awful. Your life is valuable.
When you're behind the wheel of a car, always follow the speed limit and other rules of the road. Don't tailgate. Maintain a safe following distance behind other cars so you have time to safely stop if you need to. And remember to always drive calm.